Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Planting Day 2024. As you can see behind me, I have my garden. If you're new here, let me first introduce myself. My name is Kim. I am in Central North Carolina, Zone 8A, used to be 7B. My last frost was supposedly April 10th, and I was shooting for May 1st. So today is the 28th of April. I start everything from seed. I use the winter sowing method. That's in a milk jug or a translucent or transparent container throughout the winter. I also start seeds using the indoor seed tray under grow lights. All of my seedlings have been hardened off. Almost all of my containers are open from winter sowing. We are going to plant today. I'm so excited. So typically, one of the hats that I wear is a landscape designer. I typically like to design things. However, when it comes to my garden, I don't. I have this diagram that I drew, and I make many copies of it. And each year I sort of lay out my thoughts. And so I was just sitting out here. It's Sunday, it's beautiful. And I was thinking, let me lay out the garden before I shoot a video. And I thought, why am I waiting? It is gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous all week. Why am I waiting to get the plants in the ground? So I think what we're going to do is go ahead and start putting in vegetables and getting those going. And I'm going to show you what I have and sort of my thoughts. We're going to kind of throw this out the window. Let's go to my garden and let's talk about what we're going to do today. I'm so excited. So they are now on a tarp to keep the slugs off of them. However, they are baking and I need to get them in the ground. So we're gonna get them in the ground. All right, let's take a look around at how good it looks. Look at this ground. It is gorgeous, it is ready. So look how good these beds look. The basis of this garden is going to be a cottage garden. So that means I am going to have flowers, fruit, I have roses, I am going to have vegetables, herbs, and I think that's it. Throughout the day, all day long, sun is in this bed right here and the back portion of this bed right here. I want to make this bed more of a free-flowing cottage garden. Okay, and so what that means is I am going to add the bones, the structure of it, meaning the ones that I know have to have full sun. So I'm going to plant my tomatoes, my corn, I'm going to plant watermelon and cantaloupe. I am going to plant cucumbers. So all of my vegetables, my thought was, let me walk over and show you. Hopefully you can hear me. My plan is to put my tomatoes here in this rectangle. And then I am thinking of either doing corn in 2 rows back here or corn in this patch. My other thought is right here I could do all my squash and zucchini. Sort of trying to figure that out, but I'm going to plant all of those today. My watermelon and cantaloupe, I decided, was talking with my husband today, we did have watermelon and cantaloupe before, and something on the ground, a little mouse got in and ate them. We're not going to do that again. So I'm going to utilize this cattle panel trellis, and I am going to plant watermelon on one side, and I'm going to plant cantaloupe on the other side. Now, I understand you're sitting there going, Kim, cantaloupe get huge, watermelon get even bigger. I understand that. So I saw somebody on one of the many channels that I watch take a pair of, I want to say pantyhose or a netting from like a onion bag, and when the vegetables or the fruit are little, they hold it, they like tie it to the side, and then it can grow in that little basket. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to protect it there. And so I'm growing the watermelon and the cantaloupe from seed. So I want to go ahead and get the seeds in the ground, watered in. So today is vegetable planting day. And I think what I'm going to do is just pull all the vegetables that I've already started from here, put it on my wagon. As you can see, I opened the flaps, and I'm just going to do that really fast. All right, let me share a little bit with you about what I've got. So I have a drill and an auger. This is a bulb auger. I bought it. I use it for planting everything because I don't have a bigger one, and it works fine. Bought it at Lowe's. So what I am getting ready to plant is for my cattle panel trellis. I have watermelon. This is the Crimson Sweet, and I also have the Minnesota Midget cantaloupe. I'm really excited about those. So I'm going to start with the tomatoes. I never like to plant my seedlings that I have grown, obviously from seed, in the full sun. It causes them to go into shock. So tomatoes are the exception. I will always plant tomatoes because they are tomatoes and they are so hardy. I'm going to start with my tomatoes, lay those out, plant those, and then I'm going to, we'll see where I go from there. So let's get my tomatoes. All right, let me tell you about the tomatoes I have. I did not go as crazy, so I thought, and now as I'm looking at them, I think I did. So first of all, I have the Orange Hat tomatoes from Baker Creek. These are the micro dwarf tomatoes, and they are, if I'm remembering correctly, they are orange. These plants stay about this size. So these are actually not going to go in the garden this year. I am actually going to put them in planters, I believe, up on my back porch so that we can enjoy them. I did find that because they were so small in the garden last year, that everything else took precedence, and little animals, like if a bird got it or whatever, I just didn't get to enjoy them so much, and they are delicious. So the orange, they're called Orange Hat, Lord. So they are orange. So these are going up to my patio. These are a great tabletop plant. Great. I grew a ton of these last year. I didn't have very many seeds, so I have 8-9 plants. So these are Better Boy. These are just your standard sandwich tomato Better Boy, or the yellow pear tomato. These are new. I think these are by Fairy Morse. These are the garden cherry tomatoes. So they're little miniature cherry tomatoes, and I'm going to put them throughout. I'm not going to plant them just in one place. Now these are super cool. My friends went to Chip and Joanna Gaines' place, Magnolia, in Waco, Texas, and they got me some seeds. They got me the cherry tomato seeds, and these, that was like 4 or 5 years ago, before COVID, and I saved those all this time, and I just kind of threw caution to the wind to see what would happen, and they actually germinated. So I'm really excited. These are little cherry tomatoes. I have Roma tomatoes. I have just a few of those. I like these. These are good for making sauces. They're kind of a pasty tomato. These are Baker Creek Pink Bumblebee. They are the prettiest tomato, and they're about the size of a silver dollar. I love these. They're super, I love an acidic tomato, so these are awesome. One is, by far, if you don't grow any other tomato, you need to grow this one. This is the Bodacious tomato. The tomatoes are as big as my face. I love these. They taste so good, and I can't remember, one tomato weighed like 6 pounds or something. I'll show you that video. Anyway, Bodacious, I have 2 of these. I'm going to cherish these and take very good care of these. And then I have Rutgers. It's just another sandwich tomato. So I have a lot of tomatoes. I am going to plant them all, so they're probably not all going to fit over there. I may put some over here. We'll just see. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to put the bigger ones in the back. Those are the Bodacious. These are all indeterminate tomatoes, which means they don't have a peak that they get to. They just keep going. So I put a tomato cage around them, and I don't trellis them up. I might do that this year. We'll see. We're just going to see which way the wind blows, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to move the camera over. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to give you a tip on how I plant my tomatoes. So the first thing I want to show you is an interesting fact about tomatoes, and that is that, do you see all of these little hairs that are up the tomato stem? Those all form roots. And so typically when you plant a tomato, you can do many different things with this tomato. You can lay it on its side and just put the little leaves out, like these just out of the ground. It is so thirsty right now. I feel so bad showing you this, but you can lay it like that. All of these little hairs will form strong roots. You can bury it this deep, like all this much in the ground, and just leave this part up. These are the cotyledons. So these are the first set of leaves that it gets. So you can bury those. You can pop them off if you want to. I don't. So if you want to, you can bury it like that, or you can put it in the ground. It just, the more roots that it has, the stronger it will be. So I always bury mine. There is a second set of insurance that I do when I plant my tomatoes. So I'm going to dig my hole, and then I'm going to fill the hole with my secret weapon. This is the Miracle Grow fertilizer that is water soluble. It comes in this container, or you can buy the refills, and I squirt this in the hole on the tomato, and then I cover it up, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm going to get a different tomato because my hose isn't long enough to reach all the way to the back for me to show you what I want to show you. So I'm going to actually start planting up front with probably a cherry tomato. All right, so we're going to plant first a Rutgers tomato, and I'm going to drill the hole first. I'm going to plant it right here. All right, then I'm going to take my tomato out. I'm going to set it in the ground. I'm just going to fill it like that, let it settle for a second. There we have it. Just to put it into perspectives so that you can see, this is how deep I planted those tomatoes, all the way up to their first set of true leaves. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and plant the tomatoes in here, and then we will pick back up where I left off and look at planting the watermelon and the cantaloupe over here next. Baker Creek Pink Bumblebee. All right, let me show you what I'm going to do. I've got a Better Boy tomato I'm going to put right here, 2 Mission marigolds here. I'm going to plant watermelon on this side, cantaloupe on the other side, and then I'll show you the other tomatoes here in just a minute, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. It's getting late and we've got school tomorrow, so I need to finish some stuff up for the family and cook dinner. So, as much as I would love to plant all day long, maybe tomorrow. Okay, so let me go ahead and get planting. I'm gonna finish these up, plant these marigolds, plant the watermelon and the cantaloupe, and water everything. And then I'm going to water this in really good, probably hit it with a little bit of fertilizer, Miracle Grow water, and call it a day. All right, now I'm gonna do the Mission marigolds and the watermelon. has gotten crazy windy, so I'm going to call it quits and go inside. I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. This is just day one. I'm not even going to say day one. This is half the first day. And I feel like we have made great progress. We have planted tomatoes, we have planted watermelon, cantaloupe, and some marigolds. Did we plant anything else? I think that does it for today. That's a lot, though. We did plant a lot. And so I want to thank you so much for watching my impromptu video. And the best is yet to come. We are going to direct sow some seeds in the garden. We are going to start some seed trays of things that I want to grow. We're going to hope the watermelon and the cantaloupe germinate. If they don't, we'll have to start a seed tray and have them come in just a little bit later. So I'm going to quit rambling and I'm going to end this video, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Go out, get your hands dirty, even if you have just a pot. Let's plant together. Let's plant our garden together. Vegetables, it's always good to learn to grow your own food. You never know. And I just think it's a good resource to know. You never know when it will come in handy. You may just want to go off the grid and live in Alaska and raise chickens and snap beans on the front porch in a long dress with me. Or you may want to, you just never know. So, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.